And that's another thing, by the way. I didn't know this about you till you're in the Hall of Fame for boxing in the Marine Corps. I didn't even know that, by the way.
Yeah, no, I am. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got inducted in 2022 after we had the team for about 2 years, and we went to all these national tournaments and accomplished a good bit. And yeah, I was inducted at the end of 2022, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah. So, well, this would be a whole subject, but like that really baffles me because I don't know. I've known maybe like one person who competed athletically for Marine Corps anything, but like can you just like walk me through what was the process of like, okay, you find out about the boxing team, you want to go, like, what's that whole experience like?
Well, it's weird because they used to give you like 3-year orders, and it used to be like basically your job / MOS for, it could be 3 years. Some people freaking did like 7, 8 years. But as time went on, there was really some sad things that happened with the boxing team. I don't know if you remember that there was actually like a death. Someone was in the ring for, I think, an hour straight, and they were doing round robin, and he had like severe brain damage. And probably shouldn't say that, but that was a long time ago. So they cut the team because of that, and then they brought it back. But when they brought it back, we only had like TAD orders.
Oh, okay.
So unlike the wrestling team, our like commitment to the team, our time that we could be on the team was pretty short. I was at the end of my commitment, so I just did 2 years. But most of the Marines on the team, they only had anywhere between 6 months to like a year, and then they had to go back to the fleet. But if you didn't have like the normal 3-year orders, you had TAD orders, and your job basically becomes to be an athlete for the Marine Corps. And so our days were training 3 times a day, running on the track outside, like a timed 3 miles fast as you can on the track. It's 100 freaking degrees outside. It was hard. And then you would go do boxing and sparring like 2 hours later, and then you go do a lift an hour and a half after that. So like when you talk about it and you think like, oh, being an athlete as your job, that's so skate or whatever, that sounds so fun. It is super fun. It was a great time, but like it takes a toll on you, and it's no joke. And it was like physically some of the hardest training I think I've ever done. So it was difficult for sure.
No, yeah, it sounds like, I mean, you're literally like your job's being a professional athlete. I mean, it's all you're doing is just training, training.
So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, was it, because I imagine there's not a lot of Marine Corps boxers as far as I know, but especially women boxers, I imagine. Like, so was that, like, was it even competitive for you to get in, or like, how was it, were there other women with you when you trained there?
There were, just to get on the team, I can't say it was competitive really for anybody, male or female, because we were also limited in our scope of who we could get on the team. Like 90% had to come from East Coast. So, and I mean, quite honestly, most of the boxing, I think from my perspective, most of the boxers that I knew were West Coast. So a lot of California people in Texas, that's where a lot of Marines who did boxing as a kid, that's where a lot of them were stationed. So again, just being transparent, some of the kids that made, not kids, but some of the Marines that made the team had never boxed before, ever in their life.
Excuse me?
Swear to God. Yeah, so we were not starting from a standpoint of like, oh, everyone here has a background in boxing. Like for the wrestling team, you have to have a background in wrestling.
Yeah.
I tried to make the wrestling team actually back in 2019, and that was a whole other ordeal because I was at a track unit, and they hate when officers leave to go do sports. So, but when wrestling, for example, has tryouts and they make their team, every single person was at least a high level high school wrestler for the most part. At least high school. A lot of them even did some college wrestling. Some of them did college wrestling all 4 years. They were officers. For boxing, totally different story. Like there were a handful that were very athletic. So some of them that made the team that never boxed before, they were very athletic. They were very fit, and they had like potential. Yeah. One of them was my teammate Keon White. He's still in the Marine Corps. He's awesome. He picked it up super fast, and he actually went like 9-0, like his first amateur first year in the amateurs, he was undefeated.
Okay.
And he actually crushed it. So that was like a very rare case. So usually, if you're learning a sport at 19, 20 years old, it's a little bit, it's a little later in life. So there's going to be a learning curve, but there were exceptions. But the majority had some kind of mixed martial arts or martial arts background, whether it be kickboxing, wrestling, and a few already had boxing experience. I had boxing experience. We had a Lieutenant Vernon at the time. He was awesome. He had boxing experience in college as well. I actually knew him from boxing in college. He boxed at Penn State. And then there were a few more that had, like Mario Castellon. He boxed as a kid. But it was just a whole range and variety of different experience levels from 0 to like, decent amount. So
it almost you almost give it the impression that it sounds like just any like gym off the street, where it's just like you have trial class guys and then you have some guys that have just been doing it because they have nothing else to do a little bit. But I mean, it sounds like you guys have some accolades though.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think too that boxing in general is like, it's really like the misfit toys of athletes, because it's just a lot of people that box come from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Or people that box are doing it to like prove something. You don't play basketball to prove something. Like you don't play football to prove something. Like
no.
Boxing and fighting in general, it's like you're doing it because you're a little crazy. So
yes,
that's why I feel like there's definitely something that bonds fighters together. Like there's like a few missing screws up there. So that I feel is the one thing that unified everybody, whether you were just beginning as a boxer or someone that had been doing it 10 years, is like kind of a little bit of a craziness. So,
oh, of course. I don't think the recruiters mentioned that, but I think that's actually like in the paperwork you sign at MEPS. Like you have to have like autism or some type of like,
something
insecurity to get in. That's like easily.
100%. You have to to go through all that and to be like, yeah, okay, we're doing that. There's times where you're doing things and you're like, am I crazy or is this insane? Like this is freaking, like even being as a tracker, you're seeing things. We'll probably get into that, but like, I'm like asking my Marine, okay, is our comm equipment working? Is this working? Is this like, are we able to splash this vehicle?
Uh-huh.
And he goes, 1 second, ma'am. And he freaking, I swear to God, he's like, I'm working on it, but hold on. Let me show you a trick. He takes out MRE cheese and a washer and he starts doing something behind the comm equipment.
Uh-huh.
And he's like messing with it. And then he tested something out. Again, I don't understand the comm equipment to this day. I barely understand it. Don't tell anybody, but and then he goes, oh, it's working now. It's like, good to go, man. That's a good old trick that I learned from MOS school. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is insane. Like you literally use MRE cheese and a washer to fix. It's just different breed. Definitely had to have a little bit of craziness. So
absolutely. Very well so. How, yeah, so right now you're I don't know, I'm still nerding out over the boxing thing a little bit, but right now you're professional. But like, how was your fight schedules? Like, who did you fight when you were in the Marine Corps boxing team? Did you just like pick up random people from like barracks that were like wanting to start shit? Or like was it like organized or how did that operate?
Yeah. We were all technically amateur boxers within USA Boxing when we were on the team with the Marines. So that was all amateur boxing, which you have puffy gloves, 10, 12-ounce gloves, depends on your weight, headgear, and you fight 3-minute rounds. Amateurs is, if you can imagine, like the Nationals, the Olympics, the Pan American Games, those are all amateur boxing tournaments in status. Amateurs don't get paid to fight, and they are not signed to promoters. They don't really have managers, right? Yeah. Once you're a professional boxer, which I am now, that's when headgear comes off. You got 8-ounce gloves. You usually have a manager. You usually signed to a promoter, and you're fighting for like big money. Not always big money. And we'll get into that later too. A lot of times in beginning stages of a pro career, you don't make anything. You actually lose money. But once you start making it up the ranks, then you start fighting, on big stages. You're in Madison Square Garden fighting for a world championship, 15,000 people, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
That's completely separate from the Olympics, from the amateurs. They're almost two different sports. Even the styles are very different.
Yeah.
12 rounds is the most. For women, it's 10 2-minute rounds. For men, it's 12 3-minute rounds. It's more like a marathon than a sprint.
No, of course.
So a little bit more exciting to watch too, because if you think about like amateurs is more of a point scoring type sport. You're trying to convince the judges that you landed more point scoring blows, and then it's not really about damage, because in the amateurs you can land one hard punch that really rocks your opponent, but that opponent landed 3 little shots on you. The judge is going to give the exchange to the person that landed 3.
Yeah.
In the pros, it's the opposite. It's like, what's the damage being done? If you're throwing little pitty patter punches, but this guy sits in with a hard punch and stumbles you, they win the exchange. So that's like a small example of how they're different sports. So while I was on the Marine team, all of us were amateurs. We went to National Golden Gloves, the USA Nationals. I actually got on Team USA while I was with the Marine team. So in 2021, I got invited out to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. That was my first time ever doing anything with Team USA. And then following that, I won my second USA National tournament.
Okay.
And then I went on to win the Olympic trials later down the road in 2023. So by the time I was done with the amateurs, when I was with the Marine team, I won 4 nationals. I was on Team USA for about 3 years, 2 to 3 years. And then I won the Olympic trials. That was about a year after being active duty.
Okay.
All in the reserves. After 2022, I was in the reserves. I'm still in the reserves now, but and then last year, May is when I officially decided moving to California and starting my pro career. So now I'm 3-0 as a pro, but yeah, that's kind of how it looked with the Marine team.
No, absolutely. But, and no disrespect to your career choices, but what are you still doing Marine Corps anything for? What are you it's a very successful pro boxer. I don't know how the money is, obviously, but it's
I'll just be completely real, right?
Yes, please.
I could be naive for thinking this, but it was kind of I don't want to say transactional mindset, but I was thinking I can get something out of being a Marine while in the boxing world, and they can get something from having a female Marine. I shouldn't say female because I can't mention anything DEI related, but having a Marine pro boxer that is, a captain and is a professional fighter. I thought there was ways that I could use that as branding. And I'm not saying it's not happening, but it's happening a little bit slower than intended. But I thought that there was a way to, have almost have it as a branding technique and tool, but also I didn't really want to completely get out because there's still aspects of the Marine Corps that I do enjoy and that I do love. And I love Marines, to this day, having conversations with straight up civilians that never served. I still can be awkward. You know how it is. There's certain things, we say or simplify or just random things going crazy at certain times, in the gym or just running or being motivated. There's certain things changes. That we're always going to have that, and being on time to things and checking your freaking watch and being okay, I gotta go. There's just certain things that we do that doesn't always translate to the civilian world as well. It can be very helpful, but I'm saying civilians don't always understand it. They think that we're uptight. They think that we're OCD and that we, which, we can be a little bit. So part of me was let me stay in the reserves because I still want that connection as well, not just to use it as branding in the Marine Corps or as a pro boxer, but so it's kind of twofold, but I don't have to be in the reserves. Yeah.
But I like that idea, though. It's a very because a lot of fighters forget this, that you're not, and I don't know if you look at it from the entertainer side of things, but a lot of people forget that you're not an athlete. You're there to bring a show to a crowd, and so having whether it be you're a Marine or whether it be like,
or
you're Sugar Sean O'Malley and you got wild hair or something. It's like, you need to bring more than just what you bring as an athlete. So, I mean, I think you're thinking in the right track.
no, you're 100% right. And no offense to Sugar Sean, but when you take the hair color out, the tattoos out, and the Lamborghinis and everything, and you just look at the guy like straight up, like he's not super interesting and super exciting. And even when he talks, it's like, but all those things that he's added to his like appearance and to his character make him interesting. And in fighting, especially, it's not just about fighting. Like you said, like you have to be entertaining in and out of the ring. You have to have something about you that is interesting to people. There has to be a human interest story. Because if there's not, then it's like, okay, what makes you different from every other fighter out there that puts on the gloves and punches the bag? Like there has to be some kind of something that's defining you outside of just being a boxer. And for me, I think being a Marine is special. I mean, Jamel Herring did it before me, and there's other Ken Norton, there's other people that have done it before me. I'm just trying to also use that and bring that out as part of my like personality.